Hi everybody, I want to talk today about how you can go about customizing your controller to make your controller, work for you, rather than just how it comes out of the box, but a way you can personalize it to suit your style, etc. What we have here is my Hercules RMX2. Pretty fond of this controller. It's like a brick, and it's pretty amazing. Really nice feel to it and everything. Very inexpensive. Nice sound card. Anyway, that's not really what we're here about today. What I want to talk to you is, in looking at the controller, I began to realize that there were some buttons I never really used. One would be the source buttons, because I'm not really using any external sources. There's EQ kill buttons, which I generally don't use, because by the time I think to use them, I've already turned the EQ down with the knob. Also, we have the pitch bend buttons, which I don't use because I use the jog bending to beat match. So that frees up those things to use for other goods. Now, the source buttons I use for slip mode, that's pretty easy. Just click the source button, type in slip mode, but I'm not going to go over that here. What I would like to go over is what I did with the pitch bend buttons first here. Let me hop into Virtual DJ here, and I'll bring up the wrong key. There we go. Okay, so there we should have Virtual DJ, and let me show you the mapping of what I did with these pitch bend buttons. So, and they're both pretty much the same, and I'll put all these mappings into the text of the video so that you can copy them into whatever controller you happen to be using. But just to give a quick explanation, because I use a sort of different technique here than what most people do when they're trying to do multiple things on one key. This is sort of a different way to go about it. Nothing revolutionary, but a little different. So first thing we do is check to see if the local shift key is held down. There's no $sign, so it's just the local shift just for the deck that we're working on, either side. So this is for pitch minus. If shift is pressed, then we execute the loop command, and what that does is either turn on the automatic loop at whatever number of bars is set in the interface, or deactivate the current loop. It's kind of like hitting the escape key if you have no controller. Okay, now if shift mode is not selected, we change the wheel mode to loop move. That makes the jog wheel actually move the loop forward and backward through the song while keeping the same length while pressed. So as long as we hold down this key without shift, the loop will be moved by the jog wheel. Now we check, are we holding the key down? If we're holding the key down, don't do anything else. Just sit there and hold the key and keep the jog wheel moving the loop. If we're not holding it down, so if we don't hit shift and we just click the button, this is the last part, then we do the loop in command, which sets the beginning point for the loop. Pretty simple. Now if we go to pitch bend plus, you'll see it's almost the same thing. We check shift. If shift is there, then we reloop. That jumps back to the previous loop and re-executes it. If no shift is held, then we turn the jog wheel into loop out, which lets you do those cool mixes where you move the loop out thing. You could check DJ Tech Tools, I think, has a tutorial on using loop out. I'll put that in the description also. I'm not going to repeat all that content here because they already did it, and they're a great bunch of guys. You should definitely check them out. So we do loop out while pressed. Then we check, are we holding? If we're holding, again, don't do anything else. Just hold the key down and don't do anything else. But if we aren't holding and we just click the key, do loop out. That sends the endpoint for your loop. So let me show you what that looks like in execution here. So if I just click this key, I set loop in. And we'll go forward. Wrong control. So here we do loop in, go forward 1 bar, loop out. Now we have a loop. If we hit play, the loop keeps playing. Now, if we hold down the plus key, now we can shorten that loop with the jog wheel. And if we hold down the pitch minus key, we can move that loop all around the track. Now if we hit the plus key again, it lets go of the loop. It's shift plus. We jump back to the last loop that we did, which was 1 bar, before the loop out. That's just how it works. Shift and minus simply turns the loop off. If we use shift minus here, we get a new loop in a new place with the same amount. So that's pretty cool. So that's what I did with my pitch bend buttons. And now we come to the EQ kill buttons. And the EQ kill buttons I never use as EQ kills, so that freed them up. And what I decided to do was to use the EQ kill buttons as mechanical effects, meaning things you could, or kind of like things you could actually do with like a turntable, or using a mixer or something like that. So on the bottom EQ, the low EQ kill, we have 3 different break stops. And the way I did this is I have the, if you hit it by itself, it does a 1 beat break stop. If you hold down the local shift and hit kill, it'll do kind of a long tape stop. And if you hit the opposite shift over here and hit this kill, it'll do a like you turn the power off on a turntable. Let me show you what that looks like real quick here. So now that's the 1 beat break stop with the slip mode engaged. Now, so that one's really cool, and that keeps the song playing, and that does that little effect of where you kind of cut the fader over and stop the song, stop the opposite song and come back to the song you're playing. It sounds like you stopped it, but you can do it now with just 1 deck, whereas before with turntables you actually had to use 2 records to do that. But let me show you the other here. So now if we hit the local shift and this kill, we get that like tape stop effect. Kind of a longer stop, but not super long. Now if we hit the opposite shift and hit that, it's like you turn the power off on the turntable. Pretty awesome. Really simple. Now we come back in now, so on the second EQ kill, and I'm going to show you the code for these. I'm going to show you the code for 1 because it's a lot of stuff to show, but I'll put it in the description. On the second EQ kill, I have cut effects. So if you hit the kill by itself, it does a really short cut, like they call a cutter effect or a gate effect. If you hit local shift, it does a longer cut. And if you do the opposite shift, it does an inverted cut where it cuts out the bass but leaves the snare drums in. I'll show you that too. So here's the regular kill. Now here's the local shift with the longer cut. Cut that off. Now here's the opposite shift. And for some reason it's bugging out on me. There we go. Now it's working. No, it's not. Okay, that's something in Virtual DJ I haven't quite figured out, but that does work most of the time. Let me try something here. Still doing the thing. Okay, I'll have to figure that one out, but we'll talk about that later. I'll do another video when I get that figured out. So that's this one. Now if we go up to the top EQ kill, has 2 different things. Now if we use it by itself, it does a double. Okay. If we do, okay, so now if we use the local shift, we get a quick echo out. Which will eventually stop the song. Or if you hit the button again before it stops, it'll keep playing. We do the same thing with the opposite shift. We get a long echo. This is all done using effects you can download for Virtual DJ from their website. And that's it. Let me show you one of these, the code, real quick. I'm not sure what's going on with this cutter command. I've had this problem before, and I haven't quite figured it out yet, so sorry about that. And so let's see, into the controllers. So here's our cutter command. This is fairly complicated. So this all uses the same effect, though. It's all audio cut 8. And basically we're checking 2 different shift keys and doing a bunch of different things, and we have to add in all the different effect settings here. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but you actually have to put in the settings for the effect and type them in, and so it's easier just to read and copy stuff like this. And make sure you download the Audio Cut 8 plugin from Virtual DJ. Same thing with this one here, EQ Kill High. Same thing, we're using the loop out move, and we're using Flippin Doubles, and you actually have to set the sliders and things for how you want it to move, and you just kind of look at the effect, and you can change the parameters around to be whatever you like. And I think that's about it. Let me see if there's anything else I got in here. Nope, that's about it. I just wanted to go over this with you guys, show you an example of how you could like personalize a controller. So that's what I've done for right now for this. So there's commotion in the next room. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was useful. Post any questions, please, in the comments, and like and subscribe if you like. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks.